I walk into the classroom. The room is small but bright. There are many posters on the walls. They show English words and pictures. I sit down at my desk. Other students come in too. We all smile at each other. We are from different countries, but we all want to learn English. Mrs. Smith walks in. She is an older woman with gray hair and glasses. She always wears colorful clothes. Today, she is wearing a red dress with yellow flowers. She smiles at us and says, "Good morning, everyone." "Good morning, Mrs. Smith," we all say together. Mrs. Smith writes on the board. She writes 3 words: could, should, and would. She turns to us and says, "Today, we will learn how to use these words. They are very important in English. They help us talk about possibilities, advice, and polite requests." I open my notebook and get ready to write. I am excited to learn. Mrs. Smith starts with could. She writes on the board, "Could" used to talk about possibilities and past abilities. She explains, "We use could to talk about things that might happen or things we were able to do in the past." She gives us some examples. 1. I could go to the park if it stops raining. 2. When I was young, I could run very fast. I write these examples in my notebook. Mrs. Smith continues, "Now, let's practice. Elena, can you give me a sentence with could?" I think for a moment. Then I say, "I could travel to London next year." "Very good, Elena," Mrs. Smith says. "Now everyone, write a sentence with could." We all write in our notebooks. I write, "I could learn English quickly if I practice every day." Mrs. Smith walks around the room checking our sentences. She smiles and nods. "You are doing great," she says. Next, Mrs. Smith writes should on the board. She writes, "Should" used to give advice or talk about what is right. She explains, we use should to give advice or to say what is the best thing to do. She gives us examples. 1. You should eat more vegetables. 2. He should study for the test. I write these examples in my notebook. Mrs. Smith asks us to give our own sentences with should. I raise my hand and say, "You should exercise every day." "Excellent, Elena," Mrs. Smith says. "Now everyone, write a sentence with should." I write, "I should call my parents more often." Mrs. Smith checks our sentences again. She says, "Very good, everyone. Remember, should is used for advice. It helps us make good decisions." Finally, Mrs. Smith writes would on the board. She writes, "Would" used to talk about imaginary situations and polite requests. She explains, we use would to talk about things that are not real or to make polite requests. She gives us examples. 1. I would travel the world if I had a lot of money. 2. Would you like some tea? I write these examples in my notebook. Mrs. Smith asks us to give our own sentences with would. I think and say, I would buy a big house if I won the lottery. Great job, Elena, Mrs. Smith says. Now, everyone, write a sentence with would. I write, would you help me with my homework? Mrs. Smith checks our sentences. She says, very good, everyone. Would is a very polite word. It helps us talk about our dreams and ask for things nicely. Mrs. Smith gives us a worksheet. It has many sentences. We need to fill in the blanks with could, should, or would. I look at the first sentence. If I had time, I would read more books. I think and write would. The next sentence is, you should drink more water every day. I write should. The last sentence is, when I was young, I could swim very well. I write could. We finish the worksheet and Mrs. Smith goes over the answers with us. I got all the answers right. I feel very happy and proud. Mrs. Smith says, you all did a wonderful job today. Remember to practice using could, should, and would in your conversations. The more you practice, the better you will get. After class, I walk home. I think about what I learned. I decide to practice using could, should, and would more often. At home, I call my friend Maria. She is also learning English. I tell her, we should practice English together. We could meet at the cafe and talk. Maria says, yes, that is a good idea. I would like that very much. The next day, we meet at the cafe. We order coffee and start talking in English. I say, if we practice every day, we could become very good at English. Maria smiles and says, yes, and we should help each other with our homework. We spend the afternoon talking and practicing. I feel more confident with every word. I know that learning English will take time, but I am ready for the challenge. A few weeks later, I decide to write a letter to Mrs. Smith. I want to thank her for her help and tell her about my progress. Dear Mrs. Smith, I hope you are doing well. I wanted to write to you to say thank you for teaching me how to use could, should, and would. Your lessons have helped me a lot. I practice every day, and I am getting better at English. I often meet with my friend Maria. We talk in English and help each other. We use could, should, and would in our conversations. It is very helpful. Thank you for being a wonderful teacher. I am very grateful for your kindness and patience. Best wishes, Elena. I send the letter and feel happy. I know that I am making progress, and I am thankful for my teacher's help. As time goes by, I continue to practice English. I use could, should, and would in my daily life. I know that learning a new language is not easy, but I am determined. I set goals for myself. I want to travel to English-speaking countries, meet new people, and learn more about the world. I remember Mrs. Smith's words, "Practice makes perfect." I keep these words in my heart. I know that with hard work and practice, I can achieve my dreams. I am grateful for my journey. I am grateful for my teacher, my friends, and my family. They support me and encourage me. With their help, I know I can do anything. My name is Elena, and this is my story. It is a story of learning, friendship, and determination. It is a story of growth and hope. And it is just the beginning.